do, but I'm really envious of what she's getting because I'd love to I have so many questions about the sport. But that's why Taco's here, because Taco has lived and done this before. Give a little history on your background of your involvement with dragon boat racing.
Well, I lived in Hong Kong 25 years. And so at about age 8 or 9, I got introduced to the sport. And since then, I've always been involved in some form or fashion. I was a paddler for many years. And then I became a steerman, and then a steerman slash coach, which I still do now. It's been a part of my life. It's brought a lot of good memories, a lot of good times, a lot of good events, good team building, and it's a world sport. I brought it with me all around the world when I lived in New Zealand, Japan, wherever I've been in the world. I've been part of it. One thing that, for our audience out there that wants to know more about it, we have several teams here, and I just want to name some of the countries which are here: Armenia, Germany, Canada, Russia, USA, which is doing very well. The first several races today, they came ahead by a boat length, which is really remarkable.
It was a great race.
We have Hungary, Ukraine, Czech Republic, and the Philippines, and I'll go through some others in a minute.
And we had Puerto Rico was going to be a part of this, but for some reason they pulled out. But we're sorry they couldn't make it. But if you're looking for Puerto Rico, they're not here for this World Championship. And we want to send people to a website. If you have any questions or you just want to maybe look at the schedule or you want to learn more about the sport, you can go to the official Dragon Boat website, which is Lanier, Lanier, for Lake Lanier, LanierDragonBoat2018.com. So LanierDragonBoat2018.com, and you can find out everything from the history of the sport to the schedule and of course, the countries, the teams represented here.
Right, and the sport originated in China many years ago, 2,000 years ago.
Sure.
But now it's becoming more of a world sport now, slowly but surely. And as we discussed before, a lot of it is for team building. So if you are like a bowling team or a corporate team, if you're let's say you work for a bank or whatever, this is a great opportunity for you to come out and be part of it. I'm not saying in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm just saying anywhere where you are, you can come and be a part of it. You don't have to swim. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be in great shape. But if you want to be a part of it, it's as I said, team building. You come out, you have coaching and everything else for a few hours. You have lunch, and it's something different. And I highly recommend it because I've worked with AT&T, I've worked with banks, I've worked with associations like the National Association of Asian Professionals. And it's great. You great camaraderie. You build new friends, and it's a great sport.
Yeah, and that's the whole purpose behind any sport. To play together as a team. You've heard the expression, "There's no I in team." Of course, with everyone paddling together in unison as one common goal, it's a great bonding experience. And like Taco said, what a great way for a company to get their employees together and experience something totally different. Instead of doing something that you might have always done before. Step out of your comfort zone. And if you want to learn more about this sport offered here or the team building exercises up here.
That one of the directors of LCKC that lives and breathes dragon boat is one of the top steermen for the USA. He was here today. His name is Jim Odell.
Yes.
He's from LCKC. You can reach out to him. Him and his team are cutting edge in the world. There's no better training facilities that I know of.
Hey, let me ask off camera. I'm going to ask Matt. Matt, can we run the produced piece with Jim Odell? Do we have that we could throw up shortly? We're going to look into that because we have some great behind-the-scenes videos, maybe an interview or so with Jim talking about his perspective. And I think it's great because Taco worked with him, and of course, he's actually hands-on. He's here at Lanier, where you can come up and talk to him and get a feel
Well, he's
for
part of the team now,
yeah.
so we can't. But I welcome all of you to come up. As I said, if you live in Atlanta, instead of just going to a park or just doing the usual thing, going out to
Yes.
your local restaurant, come on out here. Spend a couple of hours. Get a feel of it. I mean, this sport is now taking off throughout the country. I remember many years ago, I think in America you call it soccer. My background's, I call it football. Now soccer is a very big part of America. And I think in Dragon Boat, every year we see the numbers that's going up and up and up and up and up. First time we brought the Dragon Boat to America, as you said.
Right.
So this is a big day for us.
Well, we have, of course, with the new Falcon Stadium is also home to the Atlanta United.
A beautiful stadium.
Yeah, which is a huge sellout crowds. I mean, we're getting some of the largest crowds in the sport here in Atlanta. So with Dragon Boat Racing, this is something totally different, totally unique. And we love that you're watching us today on whatever platform. Maybe you're on the Springer Mountain Farms Facebook page, you're on their Springer Mountain Farms Roku channel, or maybe you're on the Springer Mountains website, which is springermtn.com, or you're watching us on slido.com, SLIDO.com. Just enter the hashtag Dragon Boat World 2018, 2018, and you can not only see us there, but you can also add some comments. And we're getting lots of incoming comments from people who have logged in and posted comments, whether cheering on your favorite team, asking questions about the country, and we'll try to relay those on air as we get them. So go to slido.com and the hashtag Dragon Boat World 2018.
One thing also, this is really not only getting bigger in America, this is getting bigger in the world. About, I'd say about 2 years ago, I was in Italy, in Venice, in the canals, sitting in a restaurant, and lo and behold, 3 Dragon Boat teams passed us in like a mini race. It wasn't official, unofficial, in the canal in Venice, Italy. So this is just not an Asian sport anymore. Now it's becoming a world sport. I mean, Canada's got a great team. I think Germany and Russia, are really the top teams in the world.
Really,
Germany, as you can imagine, is very disciplined, like the Chinese, and so they always put up a very good team. Here we go again. You can see them all paddling. The paddling can come. The paddlers can go different gears. So sometimes you see them paddling a long stroke, sometimes a short stroke, and as we come closer to the finish line, their stroke will increase. That last 25 meters is extremely important, and the team that wins, if it's both together, is heart. I call it. It's heart.
And the steersman is actually calling the change of gears. Is that correct?
Yes,
Taco?
it is. Yes.
So really, they're listening to the steerman, and they're also following along with the beat of the drum. The drummer is equally as important in a way.
Yes, it is. Yes. The timing, as you can see from this, everybody's in unison, and it looks easy, but they get 10, and then in the next few days we're going to get 20 people to actually paddle all together. It's not easy. It takes years and years of experience and dedication to reach this level, and for them to reach it's like reaching Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's like we talk about the best of the best, world-class athletes who are not only experienced in the sport but strong and have they've enacted and trained for years to get here and built up the muscularity and the power and the strength needed. But you talk about the heart as we get close to the finish line, and then you can hear the crowd cheering on, and that's when you kick in that extra second wind.
Yes, and you can see it's quite exciting. Well, there's a couple of teams going to the finish line. As we turn around, 4 is way ahead, but the other teams.
Look at that, very nicely.
Right.
And we see it just about across the finish line here. That was a great race.
Okay. One of the things about racing, people think it's like you get into a canoe. Probably many of you have gone into a canoe once in your life.
Yeah.
And you go in your canoe and you move it a little bit. Dragon boating, you use your arm, your hand, your shoulder,
your core.
Your core right here is big, so you see them leaning into it. They don't just sit here and go like this. They lean and grab the water, and hold the paddle right close to the boat. You don't go out and sometimes you go down and you get a chicken wing like that. It doesn't work that way. It goes up and
Oh,
down.
I'm sorry, chicken wing like that? How was that? Was it Springer Mountain Farms
Well,
chicken wing?
yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, a chicken wing. Yeah. So when you an excellent paddler, it's like a locomotive. It's like this. You go up, you hold like that, and you up and out like that. You never see a team that go out like that and bring it up. Maybe a little bit like that, but usually that. And the front two people in the front row are integral for the team itself, because if you have the right row and the left row not exactly at the side going in the water at the same time, it will throw off your boat and you will lose. And so when they go up, the left person looks a little bit to the right, so they go in unison. Now you might think that's easy, but the paddle at this speed and looking at each other in the front row is an art.
And what speed what speed are they going? Because it's very fast, but do we actually have like a miles per hour speed of what they're traveling at? We have to research that, because I'm just curious. I see the amount of speed, how fast they're going, and the amount of effort.
Our chief sponsor, Springer
Mountain Farms, fresh chicken.
Yeah. And the key word is fresh. It doesn't have antibiotics. And now, with the way we're going in the world, and we're more health conscious, that we are, we're people now around the world are buying more fresh things, more organic.
And more humanely raised animal. Animal welfare is so important. And of course, the American Humane Association certified Springer Mountain Farms the first ever for humanely treating their animals.
Yeah, I mean, many of us have seen how despicable chickens and pigs and everything are being handled. Sometimes they're in a cage all their lives. And Springer Mountain Farms doesn't believe in that.
No.
They believe to have their chickens happy and well fed, and then not fed by bad feed.
Yeah,
and they are free to roam, and so then that's important.
And we love happy chickens.
We love
I'm
happy
just saying,
chickens.
we love happy chickens. And we also love Ivester Foundation, too, which is a local Gainesville philanthropic charity. And they're helping provide funding for this today. And Champion, who is the dragon boat manufacturer fresh out of China, and shipped the dragon boats here. Which, by the way, the dragon boats you're seeing for these 4-day world-class competition are for sale or have been sold. As earlier this year, they went up for sale. And I believe there might still be some available. You can go to the website for the event, Lanier Dragon Boat 2018.com, and submit a question if you're interested in buying a dragon boat. I'm not sure if there are any left, but I was told last night at the VIP party there was one or two. Do you know if that's true, sir? Do you know what the dragon boats are?
I do not know. Last I heard they were 75% sold.
75% sold, so
Okay.
there might still be one or two available. And they range from about $7,000 to $10,000.
Right.
And what a great lawn ornament that could be for the neighborhood you live in. Yes.
And it's something, if you maintain a dragon boat, especially now since they're fiberglass, if you go in the ocean and you just wash them off with fresh water, it's like going with a speedboat, and take care of them and just, make sure you don't dent them or crack them. They can last a long time.
Yeah.
For many years if they are treated with respect.
Fiberglass, and we've come a long way since the days of wooden boats, which still have this beauty to them, and there still are some wooden vessels out there, but it's great to see what technology has brought, and of course technology we're using to bring the games to you here, live from Gainesville, Georgia, at the Lake Lanier Olympic Park, about 50 miles north of Atlanta, Georgia, on this beautiful 38,000-acre lake with over 600 miles of shoreline. And this venue right here is home of some of the best world-class flat water, and that's why it's here in America for the first time.
So we have a race coming up right now. We have Czech Republic, Italy, Philippines, and Hungary. As you can see, this is from Asia. We have Europe, Czech, we have the Eastern Bloc. So this is a very much of a worldly sport. It's not just it used to be, many years ago, Asia, Malaysia and Singapore, Hong Kong, and so forth. Now it's caught on, and it's part of the World Sporting Federation.
Right, the ICF, the International Canoe Federation.
Yes.
And they are the governing agency for this. And if you're interested, go to their website. They have 38 pages of rules that everyone here today is following, our world-class athletes. And the race is underway right now with our 4 teams.
Yeah. And when it comes to racing, I mean, in a lot of sports, you have issues. We had an issue the other day on the tennis. We have sometimes a golf issue, an infraction of the rules. Here, it's pretty black and white in dragging about racing worldwide. You have a start. We have each team has a starting area, so every team starts exactly the same at the starting line. Okay, not one team is 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 feet back or 4. So the start of the lanes are 500 meter. We have a 200 meter, and we have a 2,000 meter races. And they go all the way to the finish line. So unless a dragging boat hits another boat or goes out of their lane, it's pretty black and white. There really is not really a point for an infraction or a rules violation. You start, you finish the race, and these steermen and these paddlers are the top. So you can see the way they're going. You see that? All together, they're leaning forward. They're grabbing it. They're all together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And they go at the max speed they can, so they all go together.
Yeah, and then gauging the core is vital too, because that's where you get your greatest core strength. And the drummer who's leading and the steerman all working together in unison.
Now this is a key race.
Look at that, how
Watch
tight.
it very closely. This is a key race right here. This is what dragging boat racing is now.
Look how tight that is. Here we go.
You see how tight that is coming? It all comes down to a second or a half a second, just like Michael Phelps or Usain Bolt. And we have a laser,
number 4 looked like.
Yeah.
From our vantage point, and I probably you're thinking, and I was wondering the same thing. If 2 or more boats cross the finish line at the same time, I read the official rules. They're awarded the same classification in the final, and in case of a dead heat finish for any position, which determines who advances to the next level. They have other rules which they can look at, but really that was tight. We love it when it's tight like that.
It is, and these are just heats, and also the results that you see online many times are unofficial. So don't make that gospel unless it says official. Always think that they are unofficial. Okay, we've been told that by the race director. To mention that online, that when you look at a time on it, usually they're coming in between 1 minute and 50 seconds and 1 minute 55, usually under 2 minutes at this level. And so, but as we progress with our websites, we will have in about, right now we're going to cut off to an interview with Greer. Just give us just a second.
Yeah, Greer is our roving reporter bringing you some different perspectives. Let's see who she's talking to right now. Chris, are we off now? Are we off? Okay. Yeah. 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 Oh, I just love that was a mate. Actually, if you're listening right now, you didn't hear her. That's because with all the technological advancements, we did have a small problem with her audio, but we'll come back to her shortly.
You have to realize that around us, we have audio equipment, computers, TVs, all around us. And we will show you that at some point. The cabling in this tent alone is just is monumental.
So I'm looking at this here. So the races that we're having here. So like we have the timed races, and then we have the heats. And how many heats in each segment would you say are there before that? So they're grabbing the best times from those 2 heats.
Usually it depends on how they run events. Usually there's at least two heats.
Okay.
Sometimes 3 if it's open.
And taking the best time from that heat.
Yeah, the best time. So the team should never give up. You might have a great run and a run where you're 1 or 2 seconds off, and usually 2 or 3, and then they go to the semifinals and finals.
You mentioned, Taco, about giving up. So that's where, you have, let's say, 10 or 20 member teams, and everyone's got to come in there with the same attitude,
Yes.
And how much, since you've done this before, how much of a mental thing is involved when you're in the boat and you're paddling? I mean, how do you psych all your athletes up? Of course, these are the best of the best, but to get here, they had to go through all these same feelings.
Yeah. I think it comes to, there are athletes that stand out in the world. As a golfer, one athlete comes to mind is a gentleman called Jack Nicklaus.
Yes, classic.
In golf,
The
you
bear.
have 14 clubs. And what he always said he had the 15th club, his mind. He was mentally stronger than his competition. In dragon boating, and this is a phrase that I have coined, all these teams that you see today are terrific. They are the pride of their countries. And that they have, even if they come last, even if they don't do well, they are the pride of their countries. When you reach this level and you've trained so far, you should be so proud.
Absolutely.
But so in addition to that, when it comes down to the last 25 meters, 20 meters, or for American audience, let's say 25 yards, okay? I use a terminology called heart. And so all of them are fitness. They have hardly any body fat. They're like you. Absolutely a sports specimen. He tried for Survivor for several years.
Yes.
And so it comes down when the coach of the team says a certain word to go that extra 25 yards, they can change gears, and it comes down to that extra something that you have in your mind, in your heart. And the winning boat is by half a second, a quarter of a second. It comes down to where a computer has got to tell us who the winner is because it's so close, and that is where the team and their training and all that stuff. Let's say that they've trained. Let's say they go on a boat and they train 2 hours, which is a lot at this level, too much. And so the coach says, I want to do another 15 minutes. So that they go to a point where they they go to, and they bring that to the event today, where they have just a little bit in the tank, a little bit in their heart, a little bit in their mind to go through the pain threshold. Even at this level, they have pain.
It's just like a world-class runner, a marathon runner. You have like these long-distance runners who I was watching them chronicled on a show.
Ultra-marathon.
Yes, where they're running like 70 miles.
Through the deserts.
And you break through to the next level. And they actually see that their body is transformed with a chemical release that resembles that of a heart attack.
Yes.
But those athletes are like elevated, like, in a way what the athletes we're seeing here today for the next 4 days are at a different level. They're like the best of the best. And we're seeing, such amazing strength and stamina displayed right before our very eyes here.
Yeah, people think even if you're youthful, even though today we have seniors, over 40, over 50, we have juniors, we have an open division. No matter how well trained you are and your physique and your stamina, as you said, still at this level, you can't push even these teams to a great deal because it takes a lot out of you, mentally and physically, to be all together for 2 minutes. You think, oh, that's easy. It's not. So on Friday we will have a race called the 2,000-meter race. This is 4 times around this track, which is very, very, very exciting. And they pace themselves, the teams. They don't burn each other out. All the teams in 2,000 can't go this pace for 2,000 meters. They even if you're 18 years old and you're a sports specimen. It is an athletic sport. It is. But again, here we go. We're starting a new race.
40 plus. Lane 4, Canada 50 plus, and lane 5, Germany 40 plus.
So we have Canada, USA, Canada again, and Germany in this race. USA is in lane 3. I've noticed Tom, that USA is in lane 3 a lot today.
Right, which has been a really great lane for us. You know, having been involved Team USA in the sport since 1999, officially as a member. So really, we have a lot of experience in dragon boat racing. It's great to see for the first time for myself, you know, Team USA and from the parade of athletes last night on the opening ceremonies to this point right now in day one of the competition.
Yeah, and also this has been. Are we on?
It's fine.
One thing that I've looked at over the years, when I started in the sport many years ago, back in, well, I had to say how old I am, back in the 60s. This was a very much a, this sport was very much a male-dominated sport, and now it's becoming a sport for women, for children. For older men, older women, it's going across the board. It's not just for men anymore, and I think you can see that in other sports too, where if a sport's been male dominated, I think the lifestyles have changed now worldwide.
I love there's a diversity in this sport and so many more sports like we've seen. And right there,
and number 5 won. Germany
yes,
won.
Yes.
Germany just clipped. Germany just clipped America at the line.
How about that? Germany did
Deutschland.
Did pretty good. Actually, they came in second back in the last games.
Just a little comment. My wife is German, so Germany just won, so she'll be happy to hear that.
Ah, that's good. That's good. Well, hello, Taco's wife, Susan, right?
Susan.
Yeah, Susan. Thanks for watching, Susan.
So our next race, we'll have 3 boats again. Again, USA will be in lane 3, Italy in lane 4, and Germany again in lane 5. And this will be a woman over 40, again a 10-seater boat. I will be addressing the boats. The boats, we have 2 different sizes in dragon boats. One's a 10-seater and one's a 20-seater. Mostly today we will have, I think we have 1 or 2 races with 20-seater, but in general we have 2 different size boats, 10 and 20-seater boats.
I'm really looking forward to the 2,000 meters, which I don't think we have any of those races today, but tomorrow, and then of course on Saturday. But since this is a 500-meter course, you know, you told me they're going to stagger those races by each team will have about a 5-second start time over the next one. But you know, each team timed individually because they've got to be able to turn the boats around and go back and do it 4 times.
Right. Yeah. The 2,000 meter, it's not a straight shot. Usually, it's like how do I put this? Like a NASCAR race.
Right.
I think that's a perfect analogy because the NASCAR goes not in a total circle, but like in an oval, what you call oval.
Yeah, yeah.
And so the Dragon Boat 2000 is an oval. We go down. They will come down the straight behind us, and then make a loop around 4 times. And it's very exciting because different boats then they're right behind each other, and they'll be able to pass. So the steermen have enough knowledge on where to pass, the left side or the right side, and they know that it's like driving a speedboat. They know the rules of the road dragon boating. So if a boat is faster than you, the boat in front of you will let you by, because what you want to do is you don't want to go way above the cones. It's just like America's Cup. You don't want to go way away from the cone. You want to cut through the cone as best as you can. And when you see the 2000, the way that the steerman can cut around on a 20-person or 10-person boat is really, I mean, a good steerman, it's amazing because it's not easy to do.
Well, when you really think about it, Taco, you know, they're coming down 500 meters, then they've got to, you know, exert that energy to turn the boat around and then go back and do it, you know, 3 more times.
Yeah.
So, and all that you've seen in this sport, is there any course that has just a straight 2,000 meter shot without having to go through the repetitiveness of doing it 3 more, total of 4 times?
There have been, but they've shut those down for the reason is because they want the audience to see the start and the finish.
Gotcha.
And so if you start at point A and go to point B, and you can't see the finish, because this is basically an audience sport.
Right.
And so at this level, when you go to the championships, I'm not saying the world championships, but let's say you do championships in America or in your country, you have spectators, you have your family, friends, etc., that want to see the final. Also, and so if you have it, if it starts just one lane, it's boring.
Yes.
When it goes in a circle, it's really spectacular. If we have a camera, which we're going to have, our director will have several cameras around the course. When they pass the boats, the boats will become several feet from each other. Now, when people say, "My God, they're going to crash into each other," at this level, you don't. But it's very exciting.
I was going to say, yeah, I do love that we get to see, which I've not seen yet, but tomorrow, and I don't know what time. Let's see. We look at the schedule here. We can see tomorrow, or right around just after 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, we'll have the 2,000 meters for the very first time, and get to experience that action. And I'm sure as we go on into the weekend, the crowds will increase. We've had some different schools come by and different families. You're welcome to come by as well to join us. We're just about 50 miles north of Atlanta, Georgia, up in Gainesville, Georgia, for the first ever presentation of the World Championship Dragon Boat Races. We're located at the former Olympic venue, so it still exists today, home of the Lanier, Lake Lanier Kayak and Canoe Club. And
Well, they had rowing events.
where they have rowing events, although they do have some dragon boats here left over from the Olympic Games and
And
some
some
other
new
ones.
ones. We
Yeah,
bought some new ones.
some new ones. So you can come up here and take part in that and experience it as a team building sport. But if you want to learn more about kayaking and canoeing, this is the place to do it, at a place that's hosting the games right now, and that is the Lanier Kayak and Canoe Club. And you can go to their website, which is lckc.org, and find all about it. And what I loved also is that they have Moonlight kayak canoe trips. So
Yes.
whenever there's a full moon, you can come out here and experience the beauty of Lake Lanier and this venue under the full moon. But I would recommend you only do it with trained guides who know what they're doing.
Right.
If you've never been on the lake before at night, it can be a scary thing.
Right. And LCKC runs a top show. The people involved in there are world class. As I said, many athletes
Race
have gone
17 is coming up.
gone from there to the Olympics around the world, and so you're in good hands. Also, I just want to point out, Tom, you had mentioned the schedule to me. You showed me before. Lanier Dragon Boat 2018. You have somewhat of a big picture schedule. It doesn't list maybe the names of the teams. We're going to get that to you at one point, but that will give you a good insight on various races and when they start during the day. Okay, essentially, they are every 10 minutes between the next 4 days, between 8 o'clock in the morning and 4 in the afternoon.
So yeah, you can find the schedule like Taco said. Pretty much, it may not be down to every detail you want, but you can go to, again, the website, Lanier Dragon Boat 2018, 2018.com. Find out there about
I
all
would
the
say,
events.
slide up, Tom. Why don't we look at some comments from our viewers?
Let's take it, yeah. So,
Do we have any questions for us?
yes, well, actually, a lot of people, some people would like some more descriptive of the race. And of course, these comments are coming into us as it happens. Slido.com, SLIDO.com. And people are cheering on their favorite team members, their favorite teams, favorite country. You can just, once you get to Slido.com, put in the hashtag Dragon Boat World 2018, and that's how you can get to our page. And you can submit questions, lots of Go USA, Team USA. LCKC is ready as a host for the great event, and a great, like we've been talking about, ready for any type of canoe or kayaking activities. So thank you for that, Tom H. And a lot of people wanted to know about how many participants and teams, how many different countries are there. Welcome to the United States of America. So thrilled to have y'all. I love it. Yvonne Butcher from Louisiana,
Race 17 is
Lafayette,
underway.
Louisiana. Thank you, Yvonne, for your
USA
question.
50 plus.
So we have what about just under
Italy.
under 14 countries here?
Yes.
Germany, 50
Yes.
plus.
We have a new race starting. Some of the teams: Armenia, Germany, Canada, Russia, USA, Hungary, Ukraine, Czech Republic, the Philippines.
Yeah. So we have a race underway right now as we speak.
This race is Hungary, Czech Republic, Germany, Canada, and the U.S. in lane 5. So, and this is a senior women.
So all exclusively women in this.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I love it. I love the ladies are represented here. Just like, just love equal. This is such a great sport for men and women and young adults as well.
Right.
And now tell us about the boat following behind the dragon boats. Is that
Yeah,
to ensure
yeah.
safety if something happens in case of an emergency?
Yes. Yeah. Essentially, it's on every major race, even amateur races. We had it here last week also. Essentially, let's say, God forbid, the paddle breaks or the steerman, something happens with the steerman. It happens. Accidents do happen. So that's basically, they have medics on there, medics that can handle the situation right away. Even if a boat goes into another boat, the boats will not sink. Everyone's got life preserver, but basically that's for the safety of all the paddlers.
It's great to see how, as we get into this race here, we're watching boat number 5, which, the lead can change at any moment.
5 is USA. Here we go.
I love it. Look at that.
Yeah, 5 again. USA is doing very well. I'll be interested to see the unofficial tabulation.
Wow. The ladies are shining today from Team
Yeah.
USA.
For any team to have a boat length from second place is doing absolutely
I'm
fantastic.
telling you, Taco, that is impressive. So, yes. Wow. Whew. That's great.
We will be taking a short break. I think our schedule is that at 1:10 we will be coming back on air live. Is that correct, Director?
Yeah, that's pretty much, whereabouts in the schedule were we there?
That was our last race in the morning.
Okay.
As far as I know, unless maybe we have one more. Maybe we have one more.
We might.
And then after at around 1 o'clock, we're going to take a brief break.
Yeah, and we have I believe the medal ceremony, which the medal ceremony is just after the last race, shortly just after 12 o'clock today, for the medal ceremony for the juniors and the 500-meter men and women. So that'll be great. And of course, the scheduling, everything you might need is up on the official website, which is LanierDragonBoat2018.com.
Right.
And we have one more race.
One more race to go.
Before we leave you for a break. You were talking about how you were saying over in Hong Kong, or you were somewhere in Italy, I think it
Yeah.
was, Taco, that
In Venice.
Yeah, you had a team come in.
Yeah.
That you saw. Okay, I have a brush with greatness, not so glamorous. I was at the Longhorn Steakhouse here in Gainesville last night, and the Swiss team came in. Okay.
Oh, boy.
So you're in Venice, I'm at Longhorn in Gainesville, and the Swiss team got off their bus, and they were really excited, pumped up. So welcome athletes from around the world to Gainesville, Georgia, home of the World Championships 2018 Dragon Boat races. It's exciting to be here.
We have one more race to go. In this race, we have Hungary, Czech Republic, Germany, Canada, and USA. So you have Europe in here, and Canada and the USA. As you can see from the you don't have to be you don't have to be in fantastic shape, but these are very good people. You can different age categories, which makes it even more important. And many years ago, we just had open division.
Right.
Now we even have a lot of it. Tom is going now. We have cancer teams that have survived cancer.
Oh, I love that.
And so in the amateur events, we have people that have survived cancer, and we have a little ceremony during our event on every time. So people that have gone through it and survived it. So when we talked about team building, Susan B. Komen and other organizations around America, we have a lot of teams, specifically cancer, that have come into Dragon Boat because of unity, that they survived cancer, which is very big, either no matter what, man and woman. And so we've had a little ceremony, and they're so proud to have achieved that. And they are dragon boating. They are dragon boating, and they're proud of it, and they feel it's an achievement.
You know what? And to have gone through cancer,
Yes.
everyone knows someone who's been touched by that or are going through it. But I tell you, to be able to come out here and be a survivor and then do that, the triumph of the human spirit, it just shines. I've emceed some events too where we have runway shows down at the Atlanta Apparel Mart for cancer survivors, and that's some of the greatest events I've ever done. People who are going through something that's life challenging, whether it's an illness, and to be able to stand up and continue their lives and do something as like this. It's just awesome.
And as I said before many times, you don't need to be an athlete. Many races. I mean, as I said, I get people employ me to steer in various competitions. I have many people that come on to the boat. They only have one leg, they have one arm, and they're helped onto the boat and helped off onto the boat. So don't think that dragon boating you have to be in shape or whatever. There are people that are not perfect, that are overweight, underweight. They're missing a limb from a war or an accident, and they are on the boat, and they are so proud to be on the boat, and they're part of the team.
Yeah.
And even today we have the best of the best, but an amateur level, and I see these people that have lost a leg or and they're crying. They are so emotional that they're there. They're helping the other people on the boat.
Yeah, are they, people from all walks of life, whether if they they come back from war, or military veterans or anyone, this is an open sport for all, like dragon boat racing. So if you're new to the sport and you want to get involved, or you want to just do this with your whether your office, you can form a team. You can form a team and come out and do this. You can get your friends together and come up here to Lake Lanier, the Olympic Park venue, and their dragon boats are here, and you can learn about it and go out and do this and achieve and do something different. Step out of your comfort zone, I tell my friends.
It's like you have something in America called Top Golf.
Yes.
And I think that's going across the country right now.
We have two here in Georgia.
And Top Golf, in my opinion, okay, I don't know how much you missed, but I was just mentioning Top Golf. It's not really for pros to go there and practice their golf. Basically, it's a sport where you bring people from your office that don't even know what a golf ball looks like, and they have fun and they have a meal. And so dragon boating the same thing too.
Great bar there too.
People go out and they do a barbecue, and they go out for half an hour in the boat. And as I said, if you love the water, if you love to be outside, if you love to be part of a group of people that are like you, you don't have to feel, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. We're all in the same boat. So many amateurs are in the same boat, so don't be nervous. Don't be shy. Come out, get into a boat, be part of a team.
And you got to remember, no need to feel nervous, because these athletes all started just like you would be doing for the very first time. We all have to start somewhere in any sport, in any new job or any role that we have in our lives. So come on out here and challenge yourself. Step out. Think outside the box. Do something different for your company, for you and yourself, your friends. This is a great opportunity for you to get to know dragon boat racing, and you can come up here and see it firsthand between now and Sunday up at the Lake Lanier Olympic Park up in Gainesville, Georgia. You can just search out Lake Lanier Olympic Park and get directions here, but about 50 miles north of Atlanta. It's free to get here. We've got food trucks. vendors of all sorts.
You don't
We've
need
got
a
souvenir
ticket.
trucks. Don't need a ticket. And we have parking right across the street from the venue. That might be the only slight expense you may have, but it's very small. And come out here and just enjoy the day. Partly cloudy skies. We have a great breeze, thanks, I'm sure, to Hurricane Florence off the coast. And it's comfortable. Very low humidity up here, so about 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Perfect weather for this.
And don't make it feel like, even though we're sitting here in Atlanta, Georgia, this is a world event. We are, everything we do now in sports basically is global. If you look at any sport, even our football players, they come from different countries around the world. We have Jamaican, we have British, we have Spanish, Italian. And so if you're thinking about dragon boating in America, and you're next to a major hub, I'm pretty sure there's a dragon boat meetup. You know the meetup.com.
Yes,
meetup.com,
yes.
where you can join a team, and as I said, it's relatively inexpensive. The dues, it's down, and it's great team building and great fun, and it gets you in shape. If you want to get out there and do some exercise. And you love the water. It's a nice time overall.
Yeah, so we're coming to you live, as we said, from the Lake Lanier, which is in Gainesville, Georgia. It's, of course, a reservoir where Atlanta gets a lot of their drinking water, and of course the water is funneled down to other local states for use, whether through protected species and various rivers. But a lot of our drinking water comes from here, but it's a huge recreational facility with different marinas, and you have a lot of fun up on the lake when it is a 38,000 acre lake with over 600 miles of shoreline. And so really lucky here that we have the Olympic venue from the 1996 Summer Olympic Games that was used during the aquatic water sports here. And of course Georgia Tech had the swimming, and Lake Lanier had the canoeing and the other sports here.
Yeah, well, one thing I also want to bring up too, and I mentioned about cancer, and I mentioned about companies, and I mentioned this sport also. If you're part of a school,
Yes.
okay, we have college teams come up here, we have high school teams come up here. So if you are, let's say, what's the word for if you're if you're an athletic director for a school, what do you call that, Tom?
Athletic director would be, well, in mine we call it our athletic director. We just call him the coach.
Okay, so if you have a coach, let's say of your high school, of your college, whatever, if you're a team, we have many teams in Dragon Boat. We have whole heats of just college and high school teams that come up here. And that's a very big part of dragon boating, and it's good to get into the sport while you're young.
Yeah, and we're into the sport. Looks like one of our final races here before we take a break, have a brief medal ceremony with 5 teams competing right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, we have Hungary, Czech Republic, Germany, Canada. USA is in lane 5. Okay, USA is in lane 5.
Who's in lane 3, do you know?
Lane 3 is Germany.
Germany, yes. One for your wife.
These are the women, the senior women. Oh,
Wow, definite clear advantage. This is one of the largest leads we've seen.
Germany is a clear leader by 2 boat lengths, and again, a little something for my wife. She'll be very proud.
Yes.
This is almost 2 boat lengths, which is unheard of. The German team wins very, and I think America just maybe beat Czech Republic.
Oh, that was really close.
It was very close.
Very close.
Very, very close.
Unofficial times are, of course, online at Clockcaster, CLASTER.com. Clockcaster. You can get the unofficial times.
Yeah. Why don't you go through our main sponsor again, Tom,
Sure,
if
yeah.
you could.
As we head towards a lunch break, wherever you're watching us, here in America, of course, Gainesville, Georgia, we're very familiar with Springer Mountain Farms, who is just a world-class chicken producer, family-owned and operated for over 40 years with fresh chicken, and of course working with chefs at some of the finest restaurants, hundreds of our local restaurants and around the Southeast. So thank you, Springer Mountain Farms.
Thank you very much.
We're helping bring the games to you, the World Championship here, broadcasting from their hometown in Gainesville, Georgia, and of course, Ivester Foundation. Ivester is Doug and Kay Ivester, who are heading up the foundation. Never let your memories, I love their slogan, never let your memories be greater than your dreams. And they're involved in philanthropy, volunteerism, and grant-making foundations. And thank you for all they've done for the local community. And champion, of course, perfection and strive to excellence. They present themselves in excellence in manufacturing dragon boats. And these that we're seeing here today in this World Championship, Taco, were shipped right from Canada at their factory.
And again, going back to what I mentioned about college teams and high school teams, the investment in a boat is not that much. I mean, over the long term. And as I mentioned, even last week we had the Atlanta Championships here in Atlanta.
I watched it online.
And we had many college and high school teams participating. So you don't participate. We're not. All the teams are just not all lumped together.
Right.
Okay, so you have different divisions. You have a corporate division, you have an education division, you have, let's say, the cancer division, you have an open division, and others. So, and a recreational division. Let's say you don't even know what Dragon Boat is, and you put a team together overnight. So, don't worry about what your capability is, or you know how long you've been in the sport, or how long you haven't. There's always a place for you in the boat.
And when we talk about these athletes who are the best of the best in the world gathered here from different countries, you know, just to make it to this point, you know, there are no losers. This is, I mean, what a great accomplishment to have made it here to the World Championships in Gainesville from the Lake Lanier Olympic Park.
Yeah, and the qualifications to get here are quite hard. So you just can't, you know, decide to throw in your application and say, oh, I'm going to come next week. To make here, you have to do semifinals, you know, it's qualifications. It's just like going to the Olympics. You have heats and stuff in whatever sport that you have. So, you know, we don't have 100 teams here. We have a very select group of teams which have made the qualifications and the prerequisites to achieve this. So, as Tom said, even if they don't come first, second, third, just being here is already, I mean, something that you can say forever to your family and friends that something great that you've achieved.
And this entire championship is regulated by the ICF, the International Canoe Federation, and they have a 38-page document with all the rules that all the athletes and teams are following, and it's very strictly regulated, so this is very serious, but it's a whole lot of fun. So come on up here to Gainesville, to the Olympic Park, and check this out, because we'll be here through Sunday from 8 a.m. until about 6 p.m. at night.
Yes, and as I said, you don't need to have a reservation. You know, people might say, oh my gosh, it's sold out, and we can't get in, and we can't park. I know all the excuses, but relatively that we have space for you, we have food, we have water, and as I said, if you want to experience, or at least you had any type of idea about the race, now is the opportunity. The first time, Tom, as you said, in America, we've come a long way. I mean, just a few years ago, we had soccer. I think the first time in America.
Yes.
You know. So, you know, we are jumping onto the bandwagon. And Dragon Boat is a global sport.
Yeah. So if you want to follow along, and you can join us on Slido, SLIDO.com, and just type in the search box the hashtag Dragon Boat World 2018. And online, the official website for the World Championship Dragon Boat Races is Lanier, Lanier, dragonboat2018.com. I believe we have a medal ceremony. Matt, are we going to show any of the medal ceremony at all? We're going to show a little bit of the medal ceremony, and we're going to take a brief break here.
We're going to take a break and also let you know that the next race is at 1:10. Okay, so there's no more races behind us until 1:10. It's approximately 12 o'clock right now. We have the medal ceremony right now, and we will be back at that time.
Yeah. So around 1,300 hours if you're on military time, wherever you are in the world watching. Why don't you go onto our Slido page or our social media. Just get on social media, and you can use the hashtag Dragon Boat World 2018 and tell us where you're watching us from. We'd love to give you a shout out here online today for our World Championships. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon, okay?
I don't know, whatever.